All right, so as most of you know, I've started kind of a channel for specifically for getting into cybersecurity, or a playlist, I should say. And some of you reached out to me and said, hey, don't forget about those of us that are intermediate and advanced. We still follow you. We still learn from you. So don't stop giving your advanced or intermediate content. So I figured I would start this series, Up Your Skills series, to kind of, serve that. And keep in mind, even if you're a beginner, you will still get something out of this and you'll still learn it. But there will be some pieces that you'll have to go back and read up on to completely be able to duplicate this. For those of you that are intermediate level, you should be able to watch the video and recreate the attack. So let's go ahead and look at what it is. It's basically a question that I get often, like, hey, everybody says we should stay off Wi-Fi, but nobody can show me why. Show me why I shouldn't be on public Wi-Fi, or Wi-Fi that I have some control over. So we're going to show you how you can get owned in 4 steps. Arp poisoning will be the first thing. DNS cache poisoning on top of that. We then do some farming after that, and then eventually collect your credentials or own your box, or whichever we choose. In this case, I think we're going to look at on the box. Okay. So first step is Arp poisoning. Arp poisoning is what we do to put ourselves in the middle. And the key here, remember, you have to understand the context that we're on the same Wi-Fi network, Starbucks, hotel, airport, anywhere there's public Wi-Fi. But Arp poisoning is how we put ourselves in the middle. And when I say in the middle, I mean between our victim and the wireless router, or the gateway that you're using to get out to the internet. All right. After we do that, we then, on top of that, do DNS cache poisoning. This is where we're able to now tell them, for example, we're going to use Facebook in this example. When the victim tries to go to Facebook, we can implement DNS cache poisoning, where we will poison their local DNS cache to tell them that Facebook is somewhere that it's not, namely our machine. All right. That gets them to our box. Then on that box, we have to have a page that looks like Facebook, that's got malicious code on it or something of that nature to give us the desired result. So we've just basically turned it into a client-side attack. If you don't know what a client-side attack is, just go look that up. Basically, a browser exploit is a classic definition of a client-side attack. But either way, once they get to our bogus copy of Facebook, or the bogus copy of the site, we feed them malicious code via that fake site. And if we want, we can send them on to the real site, having dropped our malicious code, or we can just take over their machine at that point. I think in this example, we're just going to take over their machine. All right. So once we get there, we take over the machine, steal their credentials, do all these other things. And that is pretty much the end of the show. It ends up being over with at that point. Easier said than done is what most people say. But you know what? Actually, this is a lot easier than you might think it is. It's not that hard. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a demo of it. So let's get to it. All right, our prerequisites. First things we're going to do, we're going to ARP spoof. So there's ARP spoof number 1. Our victim is 172, by the way. I'll go over and show you our victim in a sec. There's ARP spoof number 2. So we have to ARP spoof in both directions. We're now going to run DNS spoof, which is basically where we're going to poison a DNS cache. And if we look at that hack demo file there, I'll just show you what's in there. Just a little host file that says Facebook is at 190. 190 is at Facebook. What is 190? 190 is my IP, right? So we've got our DNS spoofing in place. We've got our ARP spoofing in place. Next thing we have to do is set up something called the Social Engineers Toolkit, or SET. So we're going to now start the Social Engineers Toolkit. And we're going to go with option 1, which is social engineering attacks. Option 2, website attack vectors. Option 2, again, browser exploit method. And option 2, site cloner. And we're going to say no to natting. We're going to make the return address be ours. Which is 190. And we're going to clone Facebook. Now, I first did this attack all the way back in like 2009 or 8. It's the first time I put it out on the internet. There's been a lot of copies of it that's popped up since then, but I got a lot of requests for it, so I'm doing it here again for everybody. This is going to be 2 for interpreter that we're going to use, and then 443 is the port. So now it goes out, clones Facebook. It's going to put all the malicious stuff in here. Now, what I plan to do for you guys is I'm going to do like a free 4-hour Saturday session where I'm going to actually teach you how to do this. I'll have you download some the right VM and all that good stuff, and I'll actually walk you through setting this up and teach you how to do it. Not trying to teach you on this particular one, just want you to see what's possible and show you why you shouldn't use public Wi-Fi. Now, what's going to happen, as we go over and play the victim here, what you will find is that the victim already, as the exploits are loading, let's go play victim. Now, over on the victim, if we ping Facebook, you can see that the victim clearly thinks Facebook is at 190. So we've got our Arp Poisoning going, we've got our DNS poisoning going, we've got our fake Facebook waiting for him. All we need to do is have the victim to go to Facebook or try to go to Facebook. So now once the victim does that, victim comes up, opens our browser, victim decides to go to Facebook. And you can do this with any browser exploit. It doesn't really matter. There's always going to be browser exploits. Even if it's not specific to the browser, it could be a plugin or something like that. But either way, as a user is trying to go to Facebook, what's happening over here on the attacker side is you see the payload of the exploits being delivered here. And what you'll see happen next is you'll see that session 1 right up here at the top that says session 1 open, and that means we got a session. And it's testing it for several other browser exploits as well. So I'm just going to let it go and load all of them, and I'll show you all the different, how you'll see that this browser's, we're able to exploit several different things on it. But just keep in mind, you have to remember that you'll never completely patch yourself out of exploitability there. There will always be browser exploits, a way to exploit them, even if it's JavaScript. So I'm just going to show you a list of sessions. So I'm going to do sessions-L, and you can see how many things were exploited there, how many sessions got grabbed. Let's just grab session 1. All right, we're in there. We can drop down to a shell, and we own that box at this point, or we're on that box. Now, if we wanted to own it, we could, or if we wanted to go deeper, we could run commands. We could jump into PowerShell. We could do privilege escalation and all kinds of things. But now, essentially, the attacker is on your machine. They've compromised your machine, and all you did as a poor lowly victim is you went into public Wi-Fi, got on that public Wi-Fi network, and essentially tried to go to Facebook, and that was all it required for you to be owned. You didn't have to download anything or click on anything silly. Just trying to go to Facebook got you on. And as you can see, we have control of that machine, as we just took a screenshot there, and I just want to show you the screenshot. Now we can see what's on the victim screen, verify that is what's on their screen. We own it. Okay, so that is why you don't jump on public Wi-Fi, because you have about a 50-50 chance that you're going to where you think you are, and someone could always be on the network doing what I just showed you, and it really is as easy as what I just showed you. Thanks for watching.